Good morning and welcome to today's horse racing tip, where we provide a selection from one of the leading tipsters every day, Monday to Saturday, and dig into it in a little bit more detail to see if we agree or if we disagree. If you're new to our channel, please do hit the subscribe button below. When you've hit that, be sure to press the bell icon, which is a little notification, so that you get alerted whenever we post that video Monday to Saturday. Now, today's tip comes from Two for the Money. You can find out more about them from graboffer.today/2money. You can see that link just below. Now, the selection is in the 6:15 at Kempton, and the horse is Rommel. This is a novice stakes race, as you can see here, and it's a flat all-weather race, class 5, going standard to slow. The distance is 7 furlongs, and the prize money is £4,000. Now, this is a novice stakes race. That means we want to take into account a fair amount of market consideration. Now, it's quite a while until this race at 6:15 this evening, so we're going to have a quick glance at that first, at the market, just see what it's currently doing. And if I have a quick look over here at Betfair, we can see that Rommel is currently third in the market at 6.2. Quintilus and Saika are kind of very close to each other, almost joint favourites, but not quite. And then there's a big gap up to Jarfel. And past that, we aren't really interested. So that gives us 4 horses that are possible contenders in this race. Jarfel, Rommel, the selection from Two for the Money, Saika and Quintilus. And that is Rommel, that is the selection. Jarfel, Quintilus and Saika. These are the 4 possibles, with Rommel being the one. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove all these other runners as eliminations. The software I'm using here is Race Advisor Pro to do this with. Okay, so these are the 4 possible horses here, and if we sort them in order of 5, 2, 7, 8, you'll know now, if you're regular, this is a combined factor. It takes a lot of things into account. Rommel is coming number 2, so that's a good thing. It's had a good race recently, 13 days since the last good race. Looking at the probability of this horse to win, we can see Rommel's coming in third here behind Quintilus and Saika, so that's pretty much the same as what the market is saying at the moment as well. But we are seeing there is potential value in this horse at 5.7. If you remember, the odds were currently over 6. So let's see if this horse has what it takes to win in this race. So I'm going to start with a speed graph. This is a 7 furlong race, so I'm going to start with a speed graph. And because it's a novice race, there aren't many horses to see here on this speed graph. Now, Rommel is this green line here. You can see me just hiding it. And you can see there's been a bit of a decline in performance here. It came up and we can see a decline again. Now, if this pattern continues, we can expect to see this decline continue again. If that pattern continues. However, it's still looking like it's well placed generally amongst the other runners. We've got this horse here, Quintilus, that is looking to be stronger in terms of speed, so that is a threat. Now, Saika is this one here, and we obviously had a poor race that actually dropped off the bottom of the graph there. So in summary, the speed graph is showing us that Rommel has potential to perform today, but we're a bit concerned about this downward slope that we see, this pattern coming down, a good race coming down. We look like we're recreating that pattern. That's a bit of a cause for concern. Continuing on, we can see that Rommel has had 5 good races in the last 10, which is very, very good to know. And I want to have a look at one other set of factors here. I'm going to use a slightly different race card with different ratings on it to do that. I'm going to have a look, if we come over here, I'm going to have a look at these 4 factors here. And these are increasing slightly. Number 4 here, PFP PLR4, I'm not going to go into what they mean, but this shows whether the horse is increasing its form each race for the last 4 races. And we can see here it has done so for the last 3 races, but the 4th one not quite so good. We can see in its recent form over here it came 4th in that race. So let's bring up that horse's form. And while we're doing that, as usual, I'm going to run a Monte Carlo simulation on this. I'm going to use this custom race card for this simulation. Now, while that's running, we can see here, Rommel, all-weather race, 7 furlong, beaten by 2 lengths over standard ground. Coming back down here to Kempton on the 5th of September, a mile, slightly longer, over standard to slow ground, beaten 1.5 lengths. Coming back down here further to earlier this year, kind of July time, June, July time. We've got again 7 furlong races here, standard to slow, and again performed well. So this tells us that this horse does perform well over all weather tracks. It likes the distance. It actually likes standard. It seems to like standard to slow as well. So it is in here, in the running here, definitely a threat. But without any shadow of a doubt, Jarfel and Saika and Quintuplus are also going to be threats. We can see here Saika actually hasn't run on the all-weather, so maybe not quite so much a threat as we first thought. And Quintuplus, again, hasn't run on the all-weather and isn't looking actually as good either. But the market is currently favouring those, and we've got to bear that in mind in novice races. However, that's given us extra confidence in the selection just by checking those two contenders, seeing they've actually not performed that well, seeing that they've not actually performed on all-weather either. So that gives us some extra confidence there. Now that simulation's finished. Let's just bring up the results here. And we can see here, Romail is kind of sitting in third. Now, I was going to say that actually I wasn't, I'm a bit concerned about this downward line that we're seeing, this downward trend, but the speed graphs are still showing that the horse has good strength in this race. Quintuplus and Saika, the current market leaders, are looking to be not so strong from just the form perspective. However, if the market stays with them, then there's going to be something there that's a threat, even if we're not sure what it is. And I've got to take that seriously. So for me, Romail actually looks like a very, very good selection here from Two for the Money. I like this selection very much. I will keep watching on the market as we get closer to the off time, nearer the off time. If Saika and Quintuplus are still front of the market, then I will look at Romail for an 80-20 bet. Going 80% plays, 20% win market to just take the edge off there, because I think this horse has a good chance. If Saika and Quintuplus have drifted in their odds, they've come a bit further out and Romail shortened a bit, I'd go for Romail with the win. It's worth saying as well, Romail from Two for the Money has been suggested as an each way bet, which is also another way I will be looking at betting on it. I think this is a great selection from Two for the Money today. It looks like a very strong runner. I think it's got a very strong chance of placing and actually a very good chance of winning. So thank you very much for watching today's horse racing tip. It comes from Two for the Money. You can find out more about them from graboffer.today/2money. If you're new to today's horse racing tip and the channel, please do hit the subscribe button below and make sure to hit the like and the share buttons on this video as well. Thank you very much for watching.